donut.
A Los Leona's donut. Maybe it's something
that build
something they could sell, yeah.
The amount of people who'll be just up high and trying to get a couple. I mean, you'd expect to send one at least up high and then keep most of them below for the road. Right, see? You okay, mate? Bye-bye.
That's a roll. That's going to be a long roll.
Flying down the bottom of that thing. TSM, unfortunately, gets turned on there. I think maybe if not, it was a close call between them both. Found each other at the same time. Gustav down and dead. He's the lead scout. So you will expect him, unfortunately, to be the first one that dies.
We're limited on compounds to the north side of Los Leonas because a lot of teams are already sort of betted. That's a horrible word.
It's close.
Bet on the positioning for it. We're already seeing the Knights trying to close in. They're getting close to NIP. Vitality, they're happy in their compound. There we go. MBS has got himself a couple of new noisy neighbours. Kramer and Reels, the Brits coming at ya.
They're actually committing to this. And the thing is, I don't think they realise that all of the Knights are also into that. Reels gets the initial first one. It'll instantly confirm. In fact, goes down and realises someone else inside that building right behind him. Didn't quite see it, but it doesn't matter. The Knights will flood onto them and say, well, step on our doorstep, unfortunately, we'll boot you right back off.
MBS's nade finds one. Miraku and Gaxi off the distance. But this is starting to become a common fight, right? NIP and the Knights constantly clashing with one another. It's becoming more and more commonplace. FaZe now found Pin. Oh, did that nade catch him? Oh, my word. He must be down to 1 hit point at most. Gets a return nade, catches Uber. A doozy comes round the side, gets Mexi and flushes him from the rock. And now Fuzzface, he has to back away. Pin gets himself healed up. Fuzzface finds his head, but he has to back away. He's going to get pushed from behind. And FaZe, what in the world is going on with FaZe Clan? Fuzzface, the last man standing. Pin dropped down off the top and avoided the flush.
I don't think they expected them to be so split, but the commitment will come through here.
He's down, yeah. Okay. Fuzzface gets a... Oh, the nade pinged off the wall.
It's a wobble.
Nobody saw it. It's all good. It's all good. That molly's just going to splash on the wall. It's not going to do a great deal. He's going to back around the side. And, well, he's low on meds as well, as you can see. It's not been a great loot path for them. They've only got one first aid. That's going to get used up, so he's down to bandages already. And phase 2 happening. Red Diamonds, they want a gigantic chunk of FaZe Clan. And we've seen this a lot. I was just talking about Knights and NOP clashing. FaZe and Red Diamonds, this is commonplace, as you mentioned.
I'm glad he didn't go for the res. There was probably an option to do it and grab it, but I'd expect them to be swinging around off the back of that one and maybe now hunting down foes. They'll be able to play the numbers game, see how many's dead, and assess it that he is going to be the last man standing and potentially try and follow it. And I mentioned it in the initial circle was coming through. We could see that they were on the back of the tails and just going ahead of them, but the commitment was there. The initial frags came through. Recrent just takes a bullet to the brain, unfortunately. He has forced it going to hiding. Meanwhile, the rest of Digital Athletics, they're setting up in case they have to cross the road. They can play spoiler at the moment and just peek him and poke him.
He's chapped 6-mo. Oh, and he's caught him in the road, trying to make the cross.
Too overzealous on that one, unfortunately.
Well, Fuzzface is being hunted. Best of luck looking to go down. They want to confirm and flush this kill. You can see the blues on the back, so they're committed to this. They've gone through. Fighting in the blue. Fuzzy's going for a peek on towards Hello Sampai. He might have just seen him. Trying to see with the X-ray. It's actually best of luck, or they're going to double peek the corner. Gets one down. Will he get flushed? No. Gets the kill. Fuzzface. But best of luck is there. How did he not get the reach frag?
Didn't go for it. Didn't commit to it. Fuzzface in his right mind is a strong individual player. They are holding the off angle in case he decides to go out the back, and they know that they have to, he has to essentially come to them.
Well, they're fighting in the blue, and Fuzzface, remember, he's got no first aids left. He's down to bandages right now, so you can see that he gets himself the boost, the energy drink. Yeah, and Red Diamonds are just like, this is probably just not worth it. We're just losing players at this stage. So it is a 2-for-3 engagement between the two. Mutually assured destruction continues as the Jokers move on in. Dimash, how on earth did he not get hit once by Constantine there? He's going to toss the nade and back away.
Won't be getting naught off that as they'll be able to run it through. Set, you can see in the kill feed, not Does take him out with the SLIs. Not quite dead just yet. M19, Digital Athletics, Na'Vi, all starting to close rather close to one another. You can see them moving to the northern edge here. In fact, that's Team Liquid that's going to be hiding back in one of the garages as well. One of the big warehouse hangars. Jokers might also punch into this if they do want to go further. They're playing edge at the moment, been held back by a couple of, well, one member of M19, and then the Red Diamonds. This is a very strong CIS build right now.
Yeah, we've seen the game finish in that exact spot a couple of times. It was actually the game that Na'Vi won, where they came out and swept up the hill, took out Vitality and took control of it. Digital Athletics were in a similar spot, and we can see that's probably why they're trading blows at the moment. Team Liquid sort of gambling on the fact that it's going to come towards Los Leones, because now they've kind of committed to it, really. Because look at that. To get out of that building, it's going to be rough terrain, because Ensar hold the hill, so should be able to catch him out easily. We'll see whether the circle continues to shrink this way. Fuzz has managed to get himself in his vehicle, so FaZe still with just the one alive. 16 teams still standing. Jeems gets a bit of batter in there on the Wanderer.
I'll send some bullets back his way. Standing still is never going to be the greatest thing. This could be a beautiful nade. Up, over. One answers back. They're still following him up. FaZe Clan goes down in 16th. It looks like he killed himself. Did he follow his bike?
I think he's compiling in. I think did he...
That's a huge, huge F.
I mean, it was a bike flip, whether maybe the tire had been shot or not, because he went kind of close to M19 there.
Either way, they're out in 16. That makes the difference which way they die. That's not the greatest of stats for FaZe.
And as we're saying, I mean, that's going to put them 100 points plus behind Ensa by the end of this game, which is a long, long, long way to go with just 24 games remaining after this.
So for Liquid, this is a pretty decent spot. Regardless of where the circle goes, you'd expect them 9 times out of 10 to be in it. It just depends how much utility and how much commitment they have to these fights and who else wants to get involved in them. The Wanderer takes out Samty, so that's not the best of stats. Like, I was so certain they'd be still inside it, but the hard shift is brutal and goes all the way to the north. Even Enz, who had the power position of this map and pretty much complete guidance, will be forced to move on this next circle. That is insane.
Yeah, TSM are laughing. They were banking on the northern edge play at the moment. The Knights, remember, who also fought for their compound from NIP. They've benefited from this swing. But this is the choke point right there. You can see, obviously, all these teams that committed to Los Leones. Liquid trying to work the way out. Ensa looking for the kills on the hillside. Na'Vi need to move. Digital Athletics, M19, Red Diamonds, the Jokers, G2. All of these teams are committed to Los Leones, and all of these are going to get caught in the grinder as they come up the hill.
Ents need to take full advantage of this and try and clear as many frags as humanly possible. They need to look... The issue for them is because there's going to be so many fights and so many angles. They don't want to get too overzealous and then picked from a corner. One goes down, someone